You absolutely should be checking this before sending out your pre-master or your final version of the song. How many times has this happened to you? You finish a track, maybe you mix it, maybe it's mastered, then you test it in the car or you compare it to another producer's track, and the track doesn't feel as loud, not as exciting, the hi-hats are quiet, the kick is weak, the bass is too loud. I've been there 1,000 times. So here's an unconventional method that you can use that I've been using for years. I still use it, and I guarantee you it's going to increase the quality of your mixes and masters. And the cool part, it doesn't even use your DAW. You can do this in any free or paid version of a DJ software. I'm gonna show you exactly how to do this and some common mistakes that you're gonna probably run into while checking your mixes in this DJ software, and how you can fix those things so that your mix can be louder and more professional very easily. Make sure to like the video if you learned something, and let's jump in. So what we're going to be doing is actually referencing our tracks against professional tracks using DJ software. This helps us compare both audibly as well as visually, because sometimes there's things that we can't pick up on with our ears, or maybe we don't notice, and you can actually see them in the waveform when you're comparing them to other professionally mixed and mastered tracks. Your track doesn't even have to be mastered for this, but it is recommended to have at least a limiter on there with a little bit of gain reduction on average. You can use any DJ software for this. There's free ones like Virtual DJ, Rekordbox, and Mix. Then there's paid ones like Serato, but I'm going to use Traktor because I already have a copy and I think it has the best visuals. I have my track at the top left, then 3 reference tracks to compare to. 2 by myself, Mazair, and then Dimitri Molish with a track called Wound, or Wound, I'm not really sure. But the top left track I have is my track Pacifist, and I've done a couple of different versions with common mistakes that I see my students make, common mistakes that I make in my mix that show up when I'm checking my waveforms. There's a few things to consider when comparing your track against another one in the DJ software. Of course, the first one is going to be listening. So you can swap between hotkeys to listen to 2 tracks. This obviously makes it easy for us to compare to multiple tracks, but let's focus more on the visual representation. The first visuals we're going to look at are going to be the color of the waveforms. Here you can see the kick drum down here, and the kick drum down here. They're all a very deep color of red, like a dark crimson red. The lower frequencies in Traktor, it might be different for your DJ softwares, have different color palettes, but in Traktor, I know that the deeper sounds are red. The lower frequencies, the sub frequencies, the lower you go, the darker they get. And the higher you go, the lighter they get. So if my bass in my kick is actually not subby enough, or my track isn't subby enough, it'll look more like this one, where the kick doesn't really have a lot of power, and you can see that it's a bit more pink here, and I can actually zoom in and out using the toggle here, which is super helpful when comparing the waveforms. And I can see that it's just a bit higher. We can take a listen. Just doesn't hit the same. This one is much deeper. I can use the filters to compare just the low end. And it's obvious to me that my track is lacking a ton of that low end in the subs. And maybe if I didn't notice that before because I'm still learning, or I just didn't pick up on it, seeing this visual will be a dead giveaway. Clearly my track looks different than the other 3 tracks in Traktor. Maybe I should go back and look at that in the mix. So we've covered the color. Now we're gonna focus on the actual structure and the shape and detail of the waveforms themselves. So if I look at this other reference track that I've made, the kick I have too loud in this reference. So if we look here, you can see that the kick actually looks really good. It's nice and dark red, but it's actually quite a bit loud, and we can take a listen. Doesn't sound super loud, but if I compare it to the waveform of the other ones, you can kind of see that the kick is much closer to things like the hi-hat. This is the hi-hat here, this like lighter pink is where the hi-hat is. Same with this one. So if we look at the references, the hi-hat is just slightly lower in this hi-hat than it is on this one. We can compare as well in the other view, and you can see that in my reference track, the hi-hats are just not nearly as loud as the other ones. So I could turn up my hi-hat, that might fix the problem, but if I want to look further, I can see that nothing is really as loud as the other ones. Look at the bass line in this one, this other red color, and we know it's the bass line because it's dark red. We can see the bass line here and the sub, and here, the bass and the sub, much louder. And then in this one, the bass, much louder, but this one, it's really not nearly as loud. And it just seems like the distance between the quieter parts in this track are like this thick on my screen compared to the kick, which is about 2.5 to 3 times as thick. And that's how I know that it's not a matter of the hi-hat being quiet or another instrument like the bass that looks quiet. When the kick is unbalanced and too loud like this, the rest of the instruments just can't really be turned up the same. So to fix this problem, I want to lower my kick drum so it's more balanced in the mix. Here's a comparison side by side. This is the original track, and this is the track that the kick is too loud, making the track effectively quieter than everything else. See how much louder the first track feels compared to the track with the kick that's unbalanced? The kick being too loud in the second track is ruining the possibility for that track to feel as loud as the properly balanced track at the top. That's why it's so important to balance your tracks properly, and this is why this is so helpful. So pay attention to all those details, the hi-hats, the kicks, the bass. Just really try to compare what the actual waveforms look like on average. The more you practice with this, the more you're gonna be able to tell right away just by looking at it. Sometimes I load these in to check my own tracks. I don't even need to listen. I can tell right away something's wrong and re-export it before even checking, because I've been doing this technique for years. We're gonna focus on one more thing. It's a really important one, but before we do, I wanna mention that there is gonna be a 5 to 10% difference when the track isn't professionally mastered, as well as a 5 to 10% difference on style. You don't need your hi-hats to be as loud as a reference. You don't need your kick drum to be the exact same. This is just to give you a basic guideline to check to make sure there's nothing super obvious, and then make your own mixing decision based off of that. And of course, make sure you're still using your ears, checking back and forth between the reference tracks. Makes it so obvious what yours is lacking when you hear it against a few different tracks. Doing that plus the visual representation, you can definitely increase the quality of your mix. And by the way, if you want to download the presets and samples used in these 3 tracks, as well as a bunch of other free checklists, sample packs, presets, Ableton project files, and more, then click the link in the description to go to my Patreon. It's also a great way to support the channel. If you sign up, you get access to a ton of other project files and more stuff. You go back into the other view for this one. The last one is to zoom in and zoom out and look at the peaks in a different way. Don't just look at them in one view. Look at them zoomed out, look at them zoomed in, get really in there and just really fine tune to check your waveforms. Look at this kick drum. This is actually a perfect example of a bad kick transient. You can see that the kick hits really high at the beginning, then it gets quiet, and then after it gets quiet, it gets loud again like this, and it curves up and kind of shapes down back again. This is going to give you a kind of weird sounding kick because it's going to be very snappy, then it's going to ramp up in bass and then go back down. You want your kick drums to look a little bit more like this, where it is the transient and then the punch of the kick is almost the same volume as the transient. The sub is not too much louder past that. You're not really ramping up the sub too much. This doesn't sound too bad at first, but then when you look at it, you realize that there is a really big click right there. I would definitely go in and try to compress, clip, or change my kick drum to reflect that and make sure that it sounds the best version it can in my mix. And then zooming out can also give you better ideas on how the relationship between your kick and your hat is and different instruments. Let's do a lightning round of a bunch of common mistakes that you might run into and simple ways to fix them. If your waveform appears too small like this, even when it's mastered, your limiter has been set up wrong, and you need to increase the ceiling or the overall volume in your master. This is what it looks like when you don't have enough side chaining on your bass. The kick drum loses its quality. You can see it's moving all around. None of the kicks are the same. They're all kind of blending together, which is very likely going to ruin your mix. Make sure you're side chaining enough on your bass instruments to try and reduce this problem. Your track doesn't feel as loud as another professionally done track, even if yours is mixed and mastered. That could be a bunch of different things: limiting, saturation, clipping, compression, volume balancing. That's something that I can help you with in my one-on-one mentorship and coaching. I'll put a link to that in the description or up in the card right here. We can go over the tracks together and I'll find out what you need to improve your tracks so that you can make better quality music very fast. This is what it looks like when you have your limiter settings too high and it's over compressed. It just looks sausagey. There's not really any dynamics. The kick is loud, but so is everything else. And you can really see in the waveform that it's just really squished. Reduce your limiter or your compression settings. This is what it looks like when you don't sidechain your synths or your white noise and effects enough. You can actually see the color change to a fuchsia, and the kick actually gets quieter because it's overwhelmed by the synths and the white noise and effects. Looking at the waveform down here, you can actually see that it gets quieter and it actually ramps up from quieter to louder until the white noise stops. And the bass power comes back in. To fix that, just make sure you're sidechaining properly on your synths as well as the bass and your effects, especially white noise. Can't get the kick and bass levels to sit right? Well, that's more of a mixing issue, and you can watch this video right here where I actually show you how to get your low end sounding really clean. Or you can watch this video right here, which YouTube thinks you'll like based on your algorithm. Remember to get your free project files, presets, and samples in this link right here.